Family, welcome back to another episode of 3/5 of a Podcast. I am one half of the hosting duo. My name is Teddy D. You can find me on Twitter as Teddy_D_, as well as Instagram, Dwight Ted, and on the Black Astronauts Podcast. And I am joined by none other than a legend in this podcast game, my homie from the Brothers Layman Podcast, Mr. Jonathan Layman. What's going on with you, man?
What up, man? It feels good to be back. I've been off for a few weeks.
I'm saying, hey, we appreciate, we saw the love, the downloads, reaching out. Man, y'all are really into politics. This is good.
Absolutely. It's a good thing.
That's what I'm saying. It makes me feel strong, man. It makes me feel strong. So where can the people find you, man?
Can always be found at Twitter, at Brothers Layman. Mm-hmm. You can also hit us up on our email, thebrotherslayman@gmail.com. Just hit us up, man. Any feedback y'all want to give, anything y'all want to know, hit us up. We'll definitely get back at you. For sure.
All right, love it. And we'll give you a little scheduling update here at the end. But listen, family, it is a great time to be alive in politics, okay?
Woo, isn't it?
So let's recap a couple of things that have happened. Not just this past election, but before that, President Trump endorsed, it's not even important who he endorsed. He endorsed the Republican candidate because that's what he does in Virginia, and also I think in another race in North Carolina. But from those races, we have now a Democratic governor in Virginia, a Democratic governor in New Jersey. We gained 2 seats altogether on the Democratic side.
Yes,
and
sir.
Now it brings us to a beautiful time. And the first time between you and I that I can honestly say I've been excited about an election result. And that is the Senate race that was a special election. So the whole country and to some extent the world was paying attention, because the only reason this election was going on is because the elected senator from Alabama was Jeff Sessions. President Trump appointed him to be Attorney General of the country. He accepted. So, of course, they had to figure out who's going to fill his seat in Alabama. Well, how do we give this backstory? You have you had on the Republican side. Actually, we'll start on the Democratic side. We'll start on the Democratic side because the story is on the Republican side. On the Democratic side, you have Doug Jones, who is a longtime lawyer and civil rights.
He just seemed like a regular guy.
Yeah, Doug was a dude. Doug was a dude.
Like he's just a dude. Like there's nothing really.
Like he's looking at, he's looking up like, nobody else want to run. Man, I got it. Don't even trip. So Doug Jones did a lot of really great civil rights work as a lawyer. His name is well known in Alabama. And one on a side note, I think we both have family from Alabama, and I could not be happier and more proud of the state that so much of my family is from. So that's on a side note. Now, so that was Doug Jones, the Democratic side. As you can imagine, before this election started, he was an underdog of underdogs, a Democrat coming out of Alabama. Nah.
He was a Division III against a Division I.
He's Chaminade. He is Chaminade. Like
exactly.
So he was going against Roy Moore, who is a longtime, I guess, political figure is a fair way to describe him in Alabama. He was the Chief Justice in the state, and he was removed from the position twice after refusing to, in his words, compromise his religious beliefs, one of which was removing gay marriage is one, and then the other one is removing the 10 Commandments from in front of the courthouse, I believe, either a courthouse or a schoolhouse. Yeah, okay, Roy, we get it. But you may know the story and or the name because Roy Moore was accused by several women of not only pursuing a sexual relationship, but having a relationship of some sort with at least one when they were all underage.
Can I just a quick side note?
Yeah, please.
Shout out to all these women. Not even just women. the men too who are coming out and just saying, you know what, enough's enough.
Yeah, man.
And are just really just putting all these pedophiles, these child molesters, these rapists, these people who commit sexual assault, just put their names out there. I mean, just label them for what they are. And I'm so proud of these women. It's unfortunate the circumstances that had to, come with this, but put those suckers on blast, please.
I couldn't agree more. And you know what? That courage, when I was talking with someone about this yesterday, whenever you see someone, usually a woman, come out with a sexual assault allegation, if they're the first, they can find some type of comfort in knowing that traditionally when one woman comes out, there's always going to be more. Yeah. Because
well, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, just because, we know they're not the only victims, because for somebody who commits sexual assault, they're not just going to do it one time.
Nah.
There's going to be multiple occasions they do it.
Yeah. Especially a dude like him that did it from a position of power.
Exactly.
Like that is the Harvey Weinstein special place in hell type dude. Like, yeah.
Matt Lauer.
That dude.
Just keep it going.
I mean, we'll circle around about it, but just know that we are not letting these creeps off easy, but we want to get into the politics side of this. Okay. And what it means. So they being the Alabama voters had a decision to make. Do we stay the traditionally Republican state that we've always been and support a very problematic child molester, religious fanatic like Roy Moore, or do we do two things? Because just to talk about the Republican decisions, they had essentially three choices to make. One, vote Roy Moore. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. If you voted for him, you voted for him, as Donald Trump. Two, go across the aisle. That's right. We'll come back to Orange Mussolini in a second. Two, if you decided not to vote for Roy Moore, you then went across the aisle to vote for the Democrat, Doug Jones. Or three, you can sit it out and/or write in a candidate, which we know is just a protest vote. That doesn't matter.
And that is what gave Jones the W.
That's so ironic, dude.
How crazy is that? It's like, you know what? We ain't voting for neither one of y'all. We're just going to write somebody in. And that's what got him the win.
Listen.
He won by like 1%.
It is amazing. And at this point, as we're recording on a Wednesday, Roy Moore has not conceded, even though everyone involved in making the decision of whether or not he wins has said at this point, it's just logistics. You lost, but that's not important. All right. So let's start by naming the heroes. Let's go snake draft style. Like who do you want to focus on and give accolades to first? Because there's so many heroes in the story, man.
Well, first I got to give you kudos, Daddy. We talked about it on the previous episode. Black women, man.
Listen.
The black women, 98%. 98% voted. Are you kidding me?
Can you, I'm not surprised. I'm
proud.
I'm so proud, dude. I'm so proud. Like there's a million reasons why black women have not received the power that they are due. And not only politics, but business, you can break it down to every level of life. They have not gotten their just due. But today, you will get all the praise on this show.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's just in context, those numbers just don't exist when it comes to political voting. Like,
hey, shout out to my brothers too. 96%.
Yeah. Listen, you know what? Shout out to y'all, and I'm not shading the black men at all.
I'm sure that women were like, "You better vote for Trump."
Right. Just in the same way of like the women were telling their dudes to vote for Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, those sisters had it on lock. You better go out there and vote. But so you have combined in this state, I believe only 6% of black men and 2% of black women voted, which is a combined 8%. That is the lowest number ever, dude. And that is on top of another thing that we'll talk about in a second. But you know what? You shouted out to the black women. I want to shout out to a special group of people that I don't think are gonna be talked about a lot in this, because rightfully so, black people should be able to get most of the credit in this victory because voter turnout was huge. But the Republicans that not just came from the state of Alabama, but the Republicans that were bold enough to say, I want this seat in the Senate very bad. Like, I believe in a lot of the politics of what this dude does. What I can't support is someone who is an accused and you know, of course, allegedly, we'll say that, just because I know Roy's going to be mad. Maybe he'll try to sue us too. But I can't support someone who's done the things that they're accusing this man of. And exactly. I think you said it perfectly. He ended up winning when all the numbers came out as of this morning, I believe by like 22,000 votes, right? Here's what's so ill.
1.7%.
Here's what's so ill about that. Yo, he won by 22,000. There were 21,000 write-in votes.
Boom.
And the write-in is just saying, like, I'm not voting for any of them, but I want Mickey Mouse as a candidate. Whoever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man.
Doesn't matter.
And I you know, there were the senator from Arizona, Jeff Flakely, I think. He was one who not only came out, Jonathan, dig this. He not only said that, you know, he threw shade at dude, he literally sent out a picture of a check that he sent to Doug's campaign, man.
Oh my God.
Like, that is the endorsement of all endorsements. That is cold-blooded. And of course, he's a retiring senator, so he doesn't have to worry about re-election or any repercussions. I get that, but it was still dope. It was still.
Well, it's funny because my father-in-law, who is a white man,
yeah,
was talking to me this morning, and he was just like, it's like, well, the Republicans gonna lose that Senate.
Yeah.
Because he was basically like, everybody's jumping off shit.
Yeah, man. And
deal with the BS no more.
Dude, talk about that.
Because I can't.
You know, it's funny because I want to hear what you have to say about this, because this is just a thought that I have, and we haven't had a chance to talk about this. Just to let y'all behind the scenes a little bit, we typically record at night after work, after our families or whatever. This is like the middle of the day for Jonathan, right? He's legitimately.
I'm literally on my lunch break from work.
He's on his lunch break, and my son is downstairs asleep because I'm only home because he's sick. I'm saying that to say, not to give us praise, but that's how exciting of a day it is. We're just like, yo, we have to get something out, right?
Yes.
So my question to you is, now that we see that, you know, if this happens one time, like the election we mentioned at the beginning with the two gubernatorial seats flipping from Republican to Democrat, that's one thing. Now this is the second time that it's happened, where a huge shift, where it's a seat that no one saw coming up for a Democrat ever out of the state of Alabama, has shifted to Democrat. Now, mind you, it's unique, and I don't think anything like this will happen again specifically, but it happened is my point.
Yep.
That's the second time. Dare I say, if this happens again, that's a trend. That's a trend. And then 2018 and 2020 really starts to come into focus. So I'm asking you, what do you see happening from Donald J. Trump being our president right now?
Continuous downfall. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's going to continue to downpour on him. I mean, I think what happened, first of all, Donald Trump with the grab him in the whatever.
Yep.
That turned people off already.
Right.
Now, I'm assuming Republicans were just like, you know, we'll let it slide this time. Mm-hmm. But when you find out Roy Moore is accused of this situation,
dude,
and then you find out that, you know, some of the Republicans are like, you need to leave.
Right.
You need to leave.
Right.
And then you have the president who comes out and is like, well, he said he didn't do it, so he's got my vote. You're just like,
he's ridiculous.
I can only imagine. Like, it's one thing when you're dealing with race, but when you're dealing with children,
yeah, dude,
a lot of people got kids.
Yeah.
So that, racial whatever may not affect them, but when you talk about kids being abused and sexually, assaulted and stuff like that, these people got kids, man.
Right.
They are not down for that.
Right.
So I think that played a role in it as well, when he should have just kept his goddamn mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. He can burn his bridge all he wants. That's fine with me.
I love it.
And then, my new Ferris Bueller, Mr. Rock Bueller, he's just planting landmines.
Hey,
and eventually he's about to let him explode.
I feel like he's the San Antonio Spurs of lawyers. Like, he's methodical. He gets you with the kill shot.
He is like, I'm going to make sure I got all my I's dotted and my T's crossed.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, man. I am so encouraged by what's happened here lately that it truly has inspired me to get even more involved in local politics and just do as much as I can to help keep this momentum going, because I really do feel like it's important. So the last thing that we want to talk about is connected, but I think that this is a micro version of what we're talking about, but there is a macro implication that's going to come into play here with the next couple of elections, and that is the phrase voter turnout. Okay, so one of the best ways to just show what type of turnout that Doug Jones and Roy Moore's election had is, let's see here. Essentially, and I'm pulling up the article right now. There was, okay, here we go. Now,
way more than anticipated.
That's right. People anticipated that because this was such a contentious, all these buzzwords involved, the very unique election, that a lot of people were going to come out, right? So they anticipated 20 to 25% voter turnout. Bruh, there was 38% voter turnout. 38. Do you understand like how huge that is? When you
shout out to Jones, because I read an article that basically stated that he reached out to the black community.
He did.
He reached out to the black community, and he reached out to what was it, like not older white men, but kind of like middle aged.
Yeah, I mean,
he reached out to the right people.
That's it. And he ran a good campaign, because it would have been easy to sit back like Hillary did and just let your opponent try to self detonate. Really, but thankfully he was proactive and he did what he needed to do. I know this is a very, happy and sunshine show. I do want to make this one point though, and I think we can all agree on it, that I can't sit here and speak for how much outreach Doug Jones was doing to the black community before he saw that this was even a possibility. I don't know. So I'm not sitting here telling you that Doug Jones from day one went to like a place where my family's from, Bessemer or Brighton, Alabama, or LA, as we call it, Lower Alabama, and really try to, go into black communities, understand what they want, speak to their needs, and try to get them motivated to be involved in the process. I'm not telling you this. All I'm doing is the day after a victory, explaining how and telling how excited we are. So please don't misconstrue what we're saying as that. However, here is the great news that we can take from this, brother. I am in the state of Kentucky. And when I say this is not hyperbole, like I am literally, one of the biggest things that I'm working on now, as far as organization, is to get Mitch McConnell out of office. And one of the ways that we're doing that is going to be like, yo, did you see what happened in Alabama? This is the blueprint for traditionally red states. Mm-hmm. And honestly, you're not going to have a child molester that you're running against again. So, get that out your mind. But with that huge point aside, you see the path where this can actually be accomplished, because I don't think there's an either or in the way that you actually go out after groups of voters. You don't just go after black people. You don't just go after, like you were saying, middle-aged white men. You sit down and you think about who your base is, and you excite that base. You get them
exactly.
You get them going.
Get them riled up.
Hell yeah! You get carpools, whatever it is that you can do in that community to show them, like, yo, we need you. I'm here for you. Like, don't worry about the stuff that'll get you all the press. Like, you need to do the work. Like, if you are running for election and you don't go through 3 pairs of shoes, I don't know if I want you in office. Like, that's the foot to the ground type of commitment that we need. So, but voter turnout is the point. And if this voter turnout continues, do you know why it's going to be like that? You just hit on it. The biggest secret weapon that the Democratic Party has is Donald J. Trump. All we got to do is let Trump be Trump.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Just let him keep being him. Just let him keep talking. Let him keep talking. Just keep talking. Because he pissed off the sports world, too.
Oh, Jesus.
With that whole, I know this is old news, but when that ball kid made that, stole that crap over in China.
Yeah.
And the morning he came out and was like, he better apologize. That's basically what he said.
Dog.
I was sitting here like, you know what? If that was me, I ain't thanking him for nothing.
Nope. And they didn't. Well, his dad didn't.
Well, the kids had to. The kids had to.
Yeah, right. And I get that. And I think he did what he did the right thing.
And in all honesty, it was all a PR stunt. Donald Trump didn't do nothing to get them kids out
at all, dog. But he got credit for it.
LA alumni and people who had ties with China. He didn't do nothing.
I know, but he's not gonna come out and say that. And so,
let him keep shooting himself, Plaxico Burr style. Boom.
Trump is in the club with the gun and his jogging pants right now, man.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying. Just let him keep. Just keep talking. We all saw it. The Republicans basically came out and were like, "Dude, don't say nothing about Roy Moore." And what the hell did he do? He said it didn't happen, so he's got my vote.
That's what I'm saying. And here's the irony of it, bruh. When he did that, the 17 women that accused him of sexual assault came out and had a press conference about him. Like, what are you doing?
It was like, dude, okay, it didn't die or anything, but the tide is starting to die down a little bit, and he raised it back up. Like, nope,
Jesus.
Bring it back to the forefront.
Jesus, dude, and and I think that there's more to even unpack on this subject. But as we stated, our goal in this show is to keep this as short as possible. But trust me, we are going to touch on Al Franken, what the Democratic Party is, how they're reacting to the sexual allegations, and is it right or wrong with John Conyers, and there's a lot of things to dissect in that, Yeah. But I do want to make this point before we get out of here. Depending on where you hear this show, this either may be the last show that you hear on my feed, which is the Why Not podcast. And I have been, much like a small business, I've been acquired by a larger network, right? So Black Astronauts has invited us to be a part of their feed, and we are going to bring this show over to them. So shout out to Aaron B and the whole crew. And, this is not the last show that you will hear from us at all, but on the next network that you do tune into us, it'll be a larger platform where more people will be involved, and we have some really good ideas for the show, I think, and I think it's only going to expand and grow. And any thoughts, brother?
Man, I'm just excited for the progress. Excited to see that listeners still do want to want to hear what we got to say.
Yeah.
You know, it makes that's what this is about, man.
Yeah.
You do this for all of you guys.
Man, and it's humbling. We appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
The next chapter is we're going to actually start bringing on guests because we got a lot of requests. This is going to be good. We may even be moderating a debate. Shout out to Baylor and Dev from the thread on Twitter.
Oh boy.
So BTG for president, and of course, according to sources, check them both out, man. All right. One more time, just tell them where they can reach out to you, man.
Hey, anytime you want to find me, you can reach me out on Twitter at Brothers Layman, or hit me up on the email, thebrotherslayman@gmail.com. Like I said, man, hit us up. Anything you guys want to know, any questions, comments, anything, hit us up. Definitely we'll get back to you.
Hey, and just from me to you, I appreciate you doing this on your lunch break and making it happen, man. Really do appreciate it.
It's all good, man. All good. I need to get back into the swing of things anyway.
Yes, sir. We on our way. And, of course, you can reach me, Dwight Ted, on Instagram, as well as Teddy_D_ on Twitter, and the Black Astronauts Network. And as always, now that you woke, what you gonna do? All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.